sunshine, God's creation, God's variety, God's beauty, God's colors. All of Long Island, the 5 boroughs of New York City, all of Westchester County, all of Dutchess County, and Putnam County. Putnam County is between Westchester and Dutchess. And Columbia County is very well covered. And 2 in New Jersey, Trenton, Comcast, and Cablevision in Texas, Portland, Oregon, Los Alamos, New Mexico, Santa Fe, New Mexico, Buffalo, New York, Albany, New York. Oh, the big one is DC TV. Public access in the District of Columbia. No, this is one mailing of a chat with Glendora, probably for some month. We'll tell you right down here. It's way up there, though, the date. But this is the postage on it. And did you want to look at it, folks? Here's the postage on it. $100.20 to mail out a chat with Glendora. Now, that's probably another question you have. Why not only do you spend your time and your herbs of energy, but why do you spend so much money? And this is only mailing. Then you have to buy videotapes. Now it's DVDs. And then you have to buy camcorders that you wear out. These are returns from my TV stations. Many of your viewers are in there. And those will all be gone. You come back in 4 days, every one of those will be used up and gone out to a TV station again.
And her show, A Chat with Glendora, has featured guests like Robert C. Wright, the president of NBC. Folks, please welcome the happiness lady, Glendora.
I was born in the state of Maine, in Aroostook County, 18 miles from the Canadian border, 40 degrees below zero every night. And I was graduated from classical high school with a classical education. The videotape, and on the videotape was Sergio Technology.
He's in a basketball tournament, so we have to get to the next game.
You need all the laughs that you can get. So
Oh,
it's
wonderful.
It's going great. It's
perfect. Good luck on your funeral. We'll talk to you later.
And the man next to him said, oh, congratulations. What is it, a boy or a girl? And the nervous new father says, I don't know one cigar from another. Around about 1987, this thing came up called cable TV. And broadcast TV had never been commensurate with the public's airwaves. The airwaves belong to the public. And the FCC, through its greed and avarice and inquisitiveness, let the broadcast corporations, you, Mr. Paley, you, Governor, who was it, General Sarnoff, you took the public's airwaves and you made billions on it. And that was not right. And so cable TV came along with a multiple channel capacity. Thank God that the Congress of the United States realized that these airwaves do belong to the public. And so they ruled around about 1968, they I said in 1972, you better look into this cable TV thing. You better look into public access. And the first TV station was the Buffalo one. And then the next one was Manhattan. I walked in with my Sony Portapack. It weighed, I think, 10 pounds. And you had to carry your lights because in those days the cameras couldn't pick up. They couldn't see much. They had pretty bad vision compared to today. And I could go out and cover girls basketball that nobody else had ever covered, girls soccer. Well, these were unheard of things. And I sold myself as a package, folks. I came in with my Sony Portapack, and I was a whole public access operation.
The chat with Glendora continues now with cooking show number 3, right, June Princess? And what delicious number 3 do you have planned for us now? A picnic, it's summer, you know. Oh yeah, very good. So, I think we should have, I'll read the menu first. My boss thinks I'm on a picnic all the time. Yes, read the menu first. These are the kind.
Sure, right here and here.
This one right here, this is the bottom DVD. And then it comes out of the bottom DVD and goes into the car. And I was wondering if you could help me, but you don't have time, I don't think. Anyway, it goes from this DVD over to the bottom, VHS, the Sanyo, up to the next.
Hey folks, how are you? This is Glendora, and here's today's joke. Bill and Joan have a car that breaks down so often, they bought the perfect second car, a tow truck. Say folks, do you have a business and you want to...
I went to Long Island, and Scott Lord had an underground lawn sprinkling business. I made his commercial. So Scott Lord gave me a check for $2,500, and it bounced. And there's just something in me that didn't like that. So I took him to court, and he said I want a toothless judgment. But it wasn't as toothless as he thought, and I kept pursuing it until finally Scott Lord went bankrupt. I began to think that
I have to call you to tell you that the executives in the company sat down and reviewed your program.
Uh-huh.
And I have to take it off the air.
Uh-huh. Why is that?
Well, what they're saying is that the public access is not really a place for someone to talk specifically.
in 2 of Cablevision investigations, and I work on that 15 minutes a day. Other than that, we are waiting for the decision. Hello, Katie. What a pretty kitty. Oh, yes. And always you put the wrong end toward the camera. Now, where was I in the saga? You know that in the courts, corporations win. The person, the little person who is injured and who's a victim does not win. So Charles Bryant was just doing what every federal judge does, just swinging it toward the corporation. So I appealed Charles Bryant. The Second Circuit ordered Charles Bryant to take the case back and do it over and do it right. And one of their phony arguments was Glendora did not exhaust all of her administrative remedies. In other words, she didn't go to the FCC first. She didn't go to the New York State Public Service Commission, which is now defunct. She didn't go there first. She did not exhaust her administrative remedies. She went and represented herself, and the Second Circuit says that's a bunk. Glendora has a private right of action. In 30 days, a chat with Glendora went back onto TV in Nassau County, and they never tried to take it off again. But don't ever hire a lawyer. Once you hire a lawyer, you're gagged. You're not allowed to speak. And that's here in the United States of America, where our treasure is freedom of speech and press. This is the lady who made this. And there's the gentleman, Andrew, who made this.
Thank you all for watching.
Andrew.
Now maybe I'll just talk up here for a second about what's... Hi everybody. I'm sure
you did a great job on that.
Great. Hi, I just wanted to say a couple things about my dear friend Glendora before we move on. A lot of you I've met and I've been behind the camera kind of pointing it at you and her. So I want to thank you everyone who's in the room who's participated in it. I met Glendora about 4 years ago. When I was working at Manhattan Neighborhood Network, the public access station in Manhattan. And we had a phone relationship for maybe about a year, and I was the one scheduling her shows. And every time she'd call to check to see if a show was going on right, or if I've received her tapes, she would tell me a little bit of TV history, about the early days of public access TV, and throwing the cable out the window to go from the studio into the cable cast system, and I just found it really fascinating to hear all of these stories from a woman who really knows and lived the history of public access TV. And I was someone new, just working in public access TV, and didn't really know that history. And Glendora would call and she'd tell me a joke each time, and I don't really know where she fits all of those jokes, but she would tell me a new joke every time, and I just really enjoyed connecting with her. You know, she's the age of my grandmother, but I have so much more to talk to her about in our relationship with TV and community, you know, than my grandmother. So she's become my TV grandmother. And I just want to say a couple things first, and then we're going to put on a video testimony from a fellow public access producer, Glendora, and then we can invite people if they'd like to tell some stories about Glendora or anything, and her work in the community and the church as well. So some of the things that I really honor about Glendora is her passion and her dedication to her community and to preserving the history of public access TV, but also her fight for justice, to keep public access TV going and uncover some of the things that are happening in the court system and really representing the little people. And she's also taught me things about physics. She went to graduate school in the 60s and studied physics, which is really amazing, and connects it to God, which I think is really interesting and powerful, and she's really opened up my mind to think differently about things that, you know, maybe we don't necessarily see connections on an everyday basis, but she thinks outside the box to kind of give us that perspective, and I really value and honor that. I love Lenny for her jokes and her humor and her way to really honor the community around her and bring us all together through jokes. You wouldn't think it, but many, many times the laughter that she creates among us really brings us together. And also her strength to go against the grain and to really stand up for what she believes in. And I believe she also brings us together for that too. I love Glendora. And I appreciate every moment that we spend together. So just want to honor her always and her community for bringing us all together. So thank you. And thank you everybody for coming, and thank you for the amazing catering crew in the back that's made some of Glendora's favorite vegan meals. And if anybody would like some information about veganism, she's right here. And I think maybe we will roll, it's George McDermott's eulogy and testimony to Glendora. So we can watch that and then invite people to come up if they'd like. And I can talk to you a little bit later about a documentary that Glendora and I have been making together, which will be airing in Troy at the Sanctuary for Independent Media on April 11th. So I can give you information about that. Thanks.
Have a drink.
My cup of joe.
Thank you.
Who has chosen to hold her funeral service at this time, prior to her passing, as she has, as a last act of selflessness, donated her remains once she passes to science.
I'm going to pass.
We need to talk to you today about the legacy that this fabulous person has passed on to the victims of Jesus. Many of you here today in the congregation may not know that side of the Lord. You only know the side of the Lord as a devout, devoted Christian and helper of people through her media programs that she has on now 60 stations, cable access stations across the nation. Her legacy will live on far after her passing. As you see today, she is here participating in this event, which is being memorialized in unity to make even at now a documentary on her fabulous life and her contributions that she has left behind. Glendora. Jesus Christ.
Is he a pastor?
To join her family, husband, and wife,
In a way, he's a pastor.
Your speech was excellent.
This is not a sad time. This is not a time to grieve. Glendora has prepared all of her life for this passing. The Lord Jesus Christ chose this time to take Glendora back and to call her home. This is not a time when we should be grieving, except that this loss will mean that we will not have this joyous person in our lives on a daily basis. We will always have Glendora and her thoughts, her beliefs, and her fellowship in our hearts and in our minds. We will never be able to forget the veggie lady Glendora. We will never be able to forget the advertising Glendora. We will never be able to forget the wife Glendora. And we will never the legal activist Glendora. That Glendora who championed the rights and liberties that are founded. We will never forget the God-fearing Glendora who based her life, her beliefs, and her legacy in the Holy Bible. Glendora is, to say the least, the most unique person I have ever met in my entire life. Glendora has enriched my life by knowing her as she has enriched the lives of everybody who ever knew her. She gave promise and she gave hope where despair was. Glendora is a true champion of rights and justice for all in this nation. Glendora was fearless when it came to protecting diligently for years and years and years trying for rights and liberties and rechannel them for an unselfish act of activism for the Lord Jesus Christ. Glendora will never be forgotten by myself, my family, or anyone who knew her. And she should not be forgotten. The life and legacy that she leaves behind, thanks to her participation, she has now 6,000 documentaries in 6,000 programs that are on the internet and are in TV production around the country. She has fought for the rights and liberties of your family members and mine who are in attendance today. You may not know that, but she has done that by standing up to corporate giants who would try to take and steal your rights and liberties in the courts through corruption, indifference, and failure to do their jobs. She has taken many judges to task, many judges to task for failing to uphold and defend our Constitution. Most of you in the congregation today have no idea, unless you go to the early shows that Glendora has produced, of what a fabulous neighbor, friend, and confidant you had in your congregation. Myself and my family have been truly blessed by knowing Glendora Good. She was the inspiration to me to get into the activism field in a more active vein. She was an inspiration to the Sassour family, the Lehman, Sassour, Doris Sassour. She's been an inspiration that no one will really know the amount of good that has come from knowing her or having her programs on the internet and on cable access TV and on this station. So I want to thank everyone for coming here today to celebrate the going home service of Glendora Good. And please do not feel sorry for Glendora. Please do not weep. She would not have. She had so many wonderful things in her life that will live on forever. Her love of animals, animal rights, her love of husband and love of family, her love of the Lord Jesus Christ. And
I don't know. I don't know what he's doing.
may we all not forget the life and legacy that Glendora leaves behind. It started in the early 50s and continued throughout 200 and continues through 2010. But Glendora is down here when we are holding a pre-funeral service at her choosing realize the wonderful person that Glendora was. We cannot forget that her services started early in the 50s as the regimental lady, as the advertising Glendora, as the wife Glendora, 49 birthday, as the Christian Glendora, who evangelized relentlessly for the Lord Jesus Christ and promoting the values of the whole Bible and the beliefs that she had lived. The activist Glendora, who stood up to Time Warner and Cox Communications and others across the nation, who tried to keep her from her society. I count myself very, very blessed to be able to count as a friend of this marvelous, wonderful person. May God bless all of you here in attendance today. God bless Glendora especially. That this record will be made. I ask these things in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ.
That was very nice. Those are very nice.
George McDermott, a fellow public access producer who obviously has a very deep connection with Glendora. We are going to have some music in a little bit, but would anybody else like to come up and sing?
Well, Dick Campana, come on up a second. Dick Campana is from Boston, Massachusetts.
Okay.
And Dick lives right down in Copley Square.
Please come right up here
Okay.
where the microphone is.
Now, Dick.
Yes, Glendora.
Could you take it for me?
Yes.
Now, Dick, what did you think of Pastor Slater's speech?
I thought it was a wonderful speech. He's so truthful and honest. He's got a wonderful diction and great voice, wonderful delivery, and the message was wonderful. I thought it was great.
Yeah, he sings too. He sings
I bet
very
he's
well.
got a good voice. I bet he's got a good voice.
Sing us Jesus Rock.
Which one?
Well, it's the start of the service, how you open the service.
Hey dear Lord, good morning. It's good to be with you. We're here to sing your praises. Give thanks for what you do. In the name of the Father, in the name of the Son, in the name of the Spirit, the three in one.
Thank
Hey, that's
you.
great. Thank you, Pastor.
Jesus rocks. Now, Dick Campana, you came all the way up here from Boston today.
I certainly did.
Well, isn't that wonderful?
Well, it was a great
Why
tribute
would you
to you,
do
Glendora.
that? That's
A great tribute to Glendora, a wonderful woman, has such a great history, and Dave Letterman, Dave must have been a teenager then, I think.
That's right. That's right. That was 1987, folks.
I listen to Dave at night. You know, he comes on Boston and every night, and he's a little older now, but he's done so successful.
Yeah.
I'd love to see Glendora back again on the program with Dave. Wouldn't that be great?
And he promised me he would.
Oh, yeah. If we can write Dave Letterman and to pursue that, so Glendora can come back on the show, that would be great.
Let's go over and talk to Gene Fillion.
All right.
Gene Fillion,
Yes.
how did you and I know each other?
Well, Glendora, did we have classes together?
Oh, yes, we did.
Yes, and we used to hang out and get
Pardon my
coffee
back.
in this room. I remember that. one thing I do remember about Glendora is her wonderful mother. And we used to go to Glendora's home and play cards. And we had some wonderful times. And your mother was an excellent cook.
Yeah, she was an excellent cook.
Right.
And your friend met somebody at my mother's house,
Oh,
Martha.
Yes, my friend Martha. Yes, there was a lovely lady who lived there who had been a scoutmaster's wife. And a very nice young man came to make a courtesy visit. And my friend happened to be there playing cards with us, and they met, and they eventually married. Nice love story.
What do you think of your friend?
Wait a minute, there's more to that. I have to tell
Sorry.
you the rest of that. No, it just came to me.
Yes, good.
And that young man whose name was Dan had a friend named Dave, and that's who I ended up marrying. Almost forgot my full name.
Glendora the matchmaker.
And Jean, you were in the Waves, weren't you, during the war?
I was,
That
yes.
was the Navy?
Made my big contribution, yes, to the Navy.
And mostly you worked in the post office, didn't you? And you
That
were way
was
out
my
in...
assignment, yes, in Seattle. It was
Yeah,
very nice.
right.
Yes.
Well, thank you for coming all the way from Springfield,
My
Massachusetts.
pleasure, Glendora.
How is Springfield doing?
Well, weather-wise, not bad. The rest we'll not discuss now.
Tell us about your friend Victoria.
Well, my friend Victoria introduced me to you, and I can see a lot of excitement in Victoria's life that she derives from her relationship to you, and the positivity and the love for community and friends and family that you bring to her life is also something that I enjoy having as a part of my life because of your involvement with her. So.
And tell us where you're from and your family, where they're all from.
Oh, sure. My family is from Worcester, Massachusetts.
Worcester,
as well.
Mass?
Yes. So my family is.
That's nice, Jean. Worcester.
Yeah, we've got a lot of Massachusetts,
yes.
New
Yes.
England here today.
Dick,
Nice
Worcester.
city.
Look at that. Look at all these
Second
Massachusetts.
largest city in
That's
Massachusetts.
right.
That's right.
New England, really. New England.
In New England,
Yes.
it's a beautiful city.
Oh, in New England? I
Yes.
didn't know that.
Got a lot of pride.
And that's where WPI are. WPI instead of RPI, Worcester Polytechnic Institute. Isn't that right, folks? Worcester WPI?
And they have a beautiful public access station there, too.
Yes.
We should talk about getting your program on there.
That would be good, right?
Okay, I would love
Yeah,
that.
they've had enough peace in Worcester, so we'll get it on there.
I have something to say.
Yes, please stand up and right up with
Okay.
me and say it.
Okay. So this is the Glendora Happy Book, and I'm really excited because I am going to be taking it and photocopying sections for the students I work with in Holyoke. They're like considered youth in at-risk situations in the school I work in.
Youth what?
In at-risk situations.
Youth in what?
At youth whose parents are in gangs. There's the easy way to say it.
No, say it again.
In at-risk situations.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 97% of them get free lunch from the school, and it's a K-8 school.
Really?
And it's in the highest crime, highest poverty area of Holyoke. And I'm really excited it's K-8, and I work with a lot of students at the school. And I'm really excited to, give them sections of this book and see what they think about it. And I'll just read a paragraph that I plan to share with them when I go back to school on Tuesday. You're not going to be controlled by outside conditions any longer. Instead, you're going to control outside conditions. You are going to be in charge. You're no longer to be a victim of circumstances. Inside of you, you're going to be stronger than anything outside of you. And this is really important for my students because, we have drug raids in their neighborhoods all the time. We have shootings. They are exposed to a lot of violence, and they're like these wee little kids, and they're so cute, and they say the funniest things, and I love them. And so I wish too that I could see the SS Glendora show, because if you've ever asked any little kid a question, the answers they say are always hilarious and wonderful, and that must have been a wonderful program.
Are you encouraged by your progress with them? Are you able to help them?
I don't know yet because I'm
Yeah.
still learning
Yeah.
how to do it, and
Yeah.
I've only been at this school since
Do
January.
any of them come up and say, I love you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Or-
That's nice.
I love the kids because they're so awesome. And right now we're working on careers and
Oh, that's good.
the various careers. So that's really cool because you
Oh,
did that career
definitely.
program.
Definitely.
But most of my students, before we started our career project, said they wanted to be models, nurses, auto mechanics, or cosmetologists, like hair designers. And now that we're doing our career unit, they have all these different things that they want to do, and so
Really?
that's really exciting.
How old are they?
Right now, I work with all the students in the school, but with the career project, I'm doing 4th grade girls, 4th grade
Isn't
boys,
that nice?
and a 2nd grade co-ed
Oh,
group.
that's good. Oh, that's lovely.
Anyway, that's more about me than about you, but it's exciting.
No, that's better.
The last thing I wanted to say was that what Glendora has always known all along is that you can change your thought processes and you can change your neurochemistry. But now there's research supporting that when you block a negative thought and you think a positive thought, it changes the way your brains develop.
That's right.
And the way your neurons fire.
That's
but
right.
You figured that out before the researchers.
Well, Christ, I
So
think,
you.
figured that out. Christ said, from the heart, the mouth speaks. This is my loyal and reliable friend, Hattie, who's always pulling me, who's always pulling me out of the mud. And this is her daughter, Lydia. And Lydia, you work for New York State Psychiatric Center?
Mm-hmm.
And what's that work consist of?
I work in the maintenance department, but I work with the psychiatric patients also.
Do they really find help for those people?
Try to.
They try to? Are they successful?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah. It's nice to see a person come around, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. Thank you for coming all the way from North Greenbush.
Thank
Or
you.
was it East Greenbush?
East Greenbush.
Okay. This is my friend Brenda. You should see Brenda teach. Brenda, tell the people about what you teach.
Well, I teach, I mean, you're a goddess of what I teach. You are. You are the inspiration for all of us and all, not only my students, but my colleagues, because you have the hope of using media and public access for freedom of expression. And this funeral is just the beginning, of the reverberations of your wisdom passing on to all of us here.
Oh, that's a lovely thing. And continue your good work. Continue to help the youth. Brenda, it is, B-R-A-N-D-A, is on Victoria's, when you get a master's degree, you have to go and for a defense. You have to go and defend your thesis. And Brenda, aren't you on that committee?
Yes, I am.
And with 2 other professors? And then there's a person from the real world. Isn't there?
Call it from Museum of Modern Art, if you'd call that the real world.
I don't know if that's the real world.
Phyllis, tell us about your great faith in God and how your husband is such a good deacon. And you're a good deacon, too. Stand up, honey.
No, I do enough of that on Sundays.
Oh, you hurt your knee, too.
Yeah, that's
How
okay.
is your knee today?
It's coming along.
Oh,
it's
good.
coming along.
All right.
But you're at fault for one of my favorite beliefs now. When I met you, you came down to Emmanuel to tape an event, to put on your show. You always tape all kinds of interesting things to see where they're going to fit in with what you want to share with the rest of the community of people. And you heard a little bit of our story about what happened with the new home that we were doing in Delancey and the lovely little life lesson we learned from that. And you said to me, unless it's fatal, it's no big deal. And if it is fatal, we have Jesus, so we're covered.
That's the girl.
And I adopted that, and it's gotten me through.
Really? Now I want to go over to this Yale student.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Go on to Yale.
Dwayne did a wonderful service.
Yes.
I loved his service 2
Dwayne's
Sundays ago.
gifted with voice. We're not sure what voice that ought to be. But he's gifted with voice.
I want to talk to our 2 Yale students, folks. These are our 2 students from Yale. And tell the folks, as you told me, stand up if you would. Tell the folks, as you told me, what your daddy did. Let's go over here. What your daddy did. I think it's wonderful what your daddy did.
You were asking me how it was that I got interested into all these electronics. And I was saying that my dad was an inspiration for that. And that he combines music and engineering in his work, which is an inspiration for me. And
his work was what? He combined?
he has a software synthesizer that imitates orchestral instruments.
Isn't that wonderful? Yeah, right. And tell the folks what you're currently doing now.
I'm working on some multimedia projects that combine animation and music and...
Isn't that wonderful? Yes. You are really going the next chapter on your dad's work, are you? You think?
A little bit.
A little bit, yeah. Right. Thank you so much. Where's my other Yale student? Here, have a chair. You taught English where?
I taught English at Emma Willard, which is a girls' high school, boarding school, nearby in Troy.
That's sort of a famous place, isn't it?
I guess so. It's
oh yeah, I mean that's sort of Ivy League,
school.
Isn't it? Isn't it Ivy League? No.
Well, it's a high school, so not quite,
okay,
but
yeah.
It's a good school.
And now you're doing what?
Now I am working at a nonprofit that does education research and policy work.
Policy work? Mm-hmm. And can you give us an example of that?
So, for example, they believe that charter schools are really good. So charter schools are a little bit more independent than other public schools, but they are public, they're free. So they have some policies that they want passed to help charters grow.
What do you think of that, Teacher Jean?
Sounds very good.
Sounds good to you?
Yes.
Yeah, right. And you hope for the future?
I hope for the future. I think I want to go back to teaching.
You want to go back to teaching?
Yeah.
Teaching is fun, isn't it?
I like teaching.
You like the kids, right?
Yeah.
Just the way you like the kids. Where'd she go? Right there.
And Anna's working with kids too. Ask her about it.
Oh, you're working with children also?
I'm lucky to be taking a class with Branda and going to be working with children at the Missing Link Street Ministry in Troy.
Explain that to us. The Missing Link?
It's a ministry started by Pastor Willie, and it's right across from the Sanctuary for Independent Media, where you are connected, and Branda is a founder. So it should be an exciting program for the kids at that ministry.
That's an exciting thing to look forward to, yeah, right. The teacher was trying to teach the children the duties of the Vice President of the United States. And she says, why, children, what would happen if the President of the United States were to die? Undertaker. Explain that to us. The Missing Link?
It's a ministry started by Pastor Willie, and it's right across from the Sanctuary for Independent Media, where you are connected, and Branda is a founder. So it should be an exciting program for the kids at that ministry.
That's an exciting thing to look forward to, yeah, right. The teacher was trying to teach the children the duties of the Vice President of the United States. And she says, why, children, what would happen if the President of the United States were to die this minute? Who would get the job? And the little girl said, a Democrat undertaker. Let's go down here and talk to this young man. This young man is a candidate for a master's degree at RPI, are you not?
I am indeed.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
And what do you hope to do with it?
Well, I hope to teach if I can get a job.
Oh, you like teaching, yeah. On the university level?
I think so.
Yes, yeah. You want to pass on what you know, that's nice. What do you like best?
What I don't know, maybe.
What do you like best about it?
I think it's part of teaching is continuing to learn.
Yes,
and that's the funnest part for me.
Yes, yeah, right.
I mean, I like working with the kids too, but I feel like sometimes it's like being captain on a pirate ship, and that any minute they could take over. Yeah. But it's fun, and I'll get over being nervous about it, I suppose.
Tell the folks your name.
Oh, my name's Rob.
Hi, Rob. Now, over here, what do we have here? Tell us about you.
I'm Jenny McNicholas. I'm friends with Nicole.
You're a friend with Nicole.
Nicole and Sarah.
And Nicole and Sarah, and they're friends of Victoria.
That's right.
Jenny, what are you going to grow up to be?
I hope to be a wetlands technician.
A what?
A wetlands technician.
Wetlands technician?
Yeah.
Oh, tell us. Stand up and tell us
Or
about
a field
that.
technician. I would like to collect data in a wetlands area for a researcher or for a government agency monitoring the area.
And how do you go about that?
Well, I would go and collect samples of soil or water or the vegetation in the area, and then do chemical analyses in the lab and see if there are any pollutants or things like that.
And you would help preserve our wetlands?
That's right.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Well, I think that's a very noble thing to do.
Well, thanks.
What's your next step now?
Well, I graduate from school in January.
Do you?
Mhm. And then get a job.
And get a job, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I have a joke for you.
A joke.
So, how do you get to Mars?
I forgot. How do you get to Mars?
You plan it. And here's another one. All right. Why didn't the lifeguard save the hippie?
What?
Why didn't the lifeguard save the hippie?
Why didn't the lifeguard save the hippie?
He was too far out.
Oh, you see, folks, it's contagious. It's a disease and it's contagious.
That's great.
Mr. George Dixon, stand up and tell us about your blog radio show.
Oh, no, I'd rather talk about Glendora.
I'm leaving.
I have to say that I've been in the industry, the entertainment industry. I think my first time was 1968, and I think it was in the Albany area with Pat Cooper, a long, long time ago. And my love was radio, and I've been involved with talk radio for so many years. But, you know, I followed public access TV, and I just moved up here from Long Island last year, my wife and I and my daughter. And for years, I knew Glendora over watching public access TV. And the reason she caught my attention, besides being a little eccentric with her hats and so forth, which she had character, there's no doubt, but she was also very knowledgeable. And I learned from her things that I couldn't have learned in the academic world of today, in the speed that I did. What it was studying law. My partner at that time, he wrote a book on the Federal Reserve System. Besides, we shared our love in terminology. But for me, it was a learning experience on how the law works. And to make a long story short, I was a regular man raising a family, and I got a ticket or two, and I went to court to fight it. And that court battle ended about 5 years. And it gave me a lesson in how the system runs and how the people run. And I think what caught my attention was Glendora was preaching and talking about her cases at the time, and this is going back, 84, 85?
No, 95, 6, and 7.
Okay. What I was able to do was follow her work. And when I say follow her work, she did all the work herself, in which I did. I fired my lawyers at the time, and I represented myself. And I even took my case into federal court, then back again. But it was an educational experience.
Absolutely.
And through that experience, and sweat and crying and total chaos at times, I learned a lot. But I also learned to respect her work and what she did. And it was, she may sound crazy at times in some of her thinking, but she has been right on the money. She's been very sharp. So needless to say, my wife and I fell in love with this area years ago when we come up to do the apple picking during the apple orchard time. And of course, we raised a family down on the island. And we said adios to the Texas. My wife retired, and I've been retired for years. And we moved up here, and it just so happens that we met. And I didn't realize that she lived up this way. But since then, I think it's been an education in sharing our lives together. But I think in sharing a large part of it, and in my life, is also serving my Lord. And, you know, in understanding where she has come from and where I have come from also in just not only raising a family but being in the entertainment community. You know, it's very hard to lose your insights into life. And I'm grateful that, you know, I was able to do what I did and raise my family. And it was good to see Glendora has kept her faith and kept her posture in all her work. And she has done nothing but give of herself and partake. And, you know, I admire her for that. And I was going to do some singing here, but maybe when we're done here, I'll sing a few songs.
Oh, yes, please do. And remember, George, always sue the judge. Always sue the judge. Judges always break the civil rights. And they're all state actors, which means they work for a government, whether it's federal, municipal, or state. Sue them. Sue them for $83 million. We have our kitchen help. George, would you go over and ask Andrew, so Andrew can tell us about bicycles and how he was a bicycle messenger in Boston? Andrew Lynn?
Okay.
Yes. George, go over and interview him while I get Linda. Linda! Linda and Jackie! Linda and Jackie!
Jackie left up here.
Jackie
I
left?
was laughing because I was on the other side of the room. Oh, okay. I don't know what. No, she didn't leave. She's probably in the bathroom. I'll go find her.
Oh, okay. Come on out. Andrew, you were a bicycle messenger in Manhattan.
That's correct. Both
Andrew.
Boston. Boston before Manhattan.
Which was worse? Which was?
Traffic-wise or
Yeah,
money-wise?
traffic-wise.
Or other?
Traffic-wise.
They're about, I would say Manhattan was.
Did you ever go down Warren Street when you were in Boston?
I'm sure I did.
The south end, Warren Avenue.
Yep, I'm sure I did.
Off of Dartmouth.
You did really, Andrew.
Yeah, for sure. Boston, it occurred to me whenever I grew up in the country, not unlike around here, so whenever I moved to Boston and was working there, I thought it was really big city, and it didn't quite occur to me until I moved to Manhattan and went back to Boston, how small of a city it was in comparison.
And here you came from and you were riding around on Boston in your bicycle, and you survived?
Somehow.
And then Manhattan, you went to work for the Manhattan Neighborhood Network, which is public access for the borough of Manhattan. Tell us.
I was the youth media education coordinator.
Oh boy, yeah.
That's where I met Victoria.
Victoria who?
Victoria Carezzi. Who's making this, who's helping you make a documentary.
And when did you leave Manhattan, and why did you leave Manhattan?
I left Manhattan because in 2007, mainly because I was finding myself working more than I wanted to work and paying more rent than I had to work, and not having a lot of money left over.
Two good reasons.
Or time.
Now, would you like to meet a former teacher of mathematics in the junior high level from Lindenhurst, Long Island? Come, stand up and tell us how many years you taught.
35.
35 years. Isn't that wonderful? Do you ever hear from any of your former students?
I haven't since we moved up here.
Yeah, but you did before?
I did run into them.
Yeah, you did before. What were your greatest experiences about teaching?
Oh my goodness.
Why did you like it so? What was its meaning to you?
That's a thought-provoking question.
Yeah, it is. It is. Oh, you know, you love the youth and you loved helping them.
That's it. I love the youth.
Yeah, that's right. You know, a newspaper reporter asked 3 teachers, and two teachers. He said to the first teacher, what are the 3 things you like best about teaching? And she said, improving young minds, making great Americans, and making future strong people. And then the reporter says to the second teacher, what are the 3 things you like best about being a teacher? And she said, June, July, and August. Where did you meet this handsome George?
I was in college, Cortland at the time, and he was living in Rochester, and came down to visit with a friend of his. That's how we met.
That's it, right. I wish Jackie were here. Jackie is George's twin sister and Linda's sister-in-law, and Jackie is so adroit at sign language, folks. You should see her do sign language, and she helps the deaf people, and she does a lot for people. Pastor Slater, would you tell the folks how you happened to go into the ministry?
Oh, boy, that's a long story, Glendora. But it was something that I had always thought about even as a child. I actually wanted to be a baseball player in the summertime and a minister in the wintertime. But then I didn't make the baseball team, so I was kind of left with going into the ministry.
And what's your greatest joy in the ministry?
My greatest joy is watching people come alive in their faith.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. And the times when that can happen are times that are most satisfying to me.
Sure, sure it is.
I love to teach Bible study, you know that.
Yes, you do,
Yeah.
and you're very, very good at it. Do you have any funny stories to tell us that happened to you as a minister?
I could write a book on that, Glendora. I have a lot of funny stories about the funeral home across the street.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, we've had some interesting times together. There was the one time when I was conducting a funeral service, and I noticed that there was somebody sitting in the back, and as everybody was leaving, he was the last one to leave, and greeted me and said that he was a Jewish rabbi and was wondering if he might say a few words at the gravesite. And I'm thinking to myself, well, I don't see if there'd be anything wrong with that. And then I noticed the funeral director chuckling back in the corner, and then found out that this guy was actually a casket salesman that the funeral director had talked into staying for the service just so he could tell me he was a Jewish rabbi.
Yeah,
afterwards.
he took you. Yeah, right. Anything else that happened to you that was funny?
Oh, my goodness. I try to find humor in every day, Glendora, because I do love to laugh, and I enjoy hearing other people laugh.
Yes, you do.
And so
Yeah, he's a very good audience.
a good audience, and I like to include humor in my sermons, too.
I have to tell you folks about the Baptist minister. He would go see his flock every week, and he said, Farmer John, I haven't seen you in church for a long time. And Farmer John said, well, all I got is this farming gear. I don't want to go to church in this farming gear. And the Baptist minister says, oh, we can remedy that. And the next Wednesday he shows up with this handsome outfit. And Farmer John says, the Baptist minister said to Farmer John, I am astounded you were not in church Sunday. And the Farmer John says, those clothes you gave me were so nice, I thought I could go to the Episcopal church. You got any funny stories, Mr. Dick?
Well, I'm just trying to think of a few now. We're talking about singing, you know. And if you like the song "Oh Danny Boy," I'll make a stab at it.
Oh, good. Come right up here, Mr. Danny Boy. Right up here.
Well, I can see probably right here. Well, okay, fine.
Yeah, right up here is good, huh?
Okay. Trying to sing on key. I know the pastor's got a good voice.
Oh, yes, indeed.
This gentleman over there's got a good voice.
Yes.
Oh, Danny boy, the pipes are calling from glen to glen and down the mountainside. The summer's gone and all the roads are calling. It's you, must go and I must buy. But come ye back. it's here I'll be, in sunshine or in shadow. Oh, Danny boy, oh, Danny boy, I love you so.
Dedicated to Glendora.
Oh, that's so nice. Isn't that nice? And this gentleman over here, tell us all about yourself.
Right from the beginning.
Hello, my name is Joe.
Hi, Joe.
I didn't know much about you until fairly recently, and now I wish I had been watching your shows for a long time, and I will go try to find some of the older ones and watch them.
And where are you from, and how'd you happen to hear about our funeral?
I'm from East Greenbush, just around the corner from here.
And how'd you happen to hear about
And
it?
I heard about it through the TN listserv.
What's that?
A listserv, an email list that comes out for the
Really?
local population.
Do you know about that, Pastor? No, tell us about it.
I don't know much about it. I receive it, and I think it was Victoria who actually probably put it out there for us.
Oh, Victoria? Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you for coming.
Yes, thank you very much.
You came all down by yourself?
I did, yes.
He has such a nice face, doesn't he? Yeah, I love his face. Anybody else who wants to contribute? Anybody have anything to contribute? Anybody else have anything to contribute?
We need to cut the cake.
Oh, that's right. Victoria. Please tell us about Victoria. Oh, she's busy. Is there anybody else who can tell us? Andrew, can you tell us about this cake?
Well, knowing that you have a vegan diet, and that you were pretty particular about the food that was going to be served here, Vicki decided to surprise you by getting a vegan cake.
Isn't that
created
wonderful?
By a bakery in downtown Troy called X's to O's.
Did you hear that, folks? They have a vegan bakery in downtown Troy.
So there's no animal products used in the making of this apple cake.
Oh.
That's about all I know about it.
That's it. That's good enough. Thank you, Andrew. Oh, the cake is here?
Yeah, cake is here, ready
Okay.
to cut.
Okay, George, you want to take care of this camera for me? I will cut the cake.
Sure.
Linda, come and show me how to do this, please. Let's see. Look at it, folks, before it's cut. Come and look. Everybody gathered around. Everybody gather around. Come over, Joe. Hey, Professor. Now show me how to cut it, honey.
Okay. I would just cut it.